Hi, I'm Bob Matcher, Executive Director for Prime Plus Senior Centers, and this is Prime Time with Bob. It is so good to be with you guys again today in bringing new information from some friends. I got rid of calling old friends, long-term friends, but we've got Judy Swystun from Coastal. According to my calendar here, you are now Coastal Ride.
That's right. Yes, we are.
We have cabs, right?
Yes, we rebranding so that we have a standard look from Newport News to Virginia Beach with all of the different fleets that we help manage. And so yes, Coastal Ride, that's our new brand.
And every now and then I see a mermaid still.
Yeah, every now and then you see a mermaid. Yeah, we actually got an artist to come in and draw up some new cool looks for us. And it's been a couple of years now we've been starting to roll out our brand. So as the vehicles turn over, we're putting our new wave and sun and our new look out there.
It's cool. And Debbie Schwartz from Senior Services Southeast Virginia, SEVA, the organization we call a variety of things, but a huge funder of Prime Plus, so thank you, but also really a network of connection for seniors 16 and above here in Hampton Roads. How you doing, Debbie?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on today.
You guys have a huge announcement to make in support of the most American thing we can do in the next 12 days, I think, from the time that we're recording this. And everybody should know what that activity is. Vote. Tell me about it, Debbie.
Okay, so Senior Services works hard all year long to ensure that older adults stay active, healthy, and engaged in their communities. And that means having the ability to exercise your right to vote. So we are partnering with Coastal Ride, and still all getting used to it. And we've been partnering with Judy and her team for many, many years now in offering free rides to the polls for senior adults and disabled adults. So we are taking names ahead of time, getting the information out, and Judy's team will get them to the polls and get them home again. Wow.
Okay. And there's a phone number. We're going to keep saying that phone number over and over again that people can call.
Okay. So any qualifying senior or disabled adult who would like a free ride to the poll needs to call our office, 757-963-9218. I'll say it again, 757-963-9218, no later than noon on Friday, October 30th. When you call, you need to be ready to provide your daytime phone number, a pickup address, your registered voting location, because we'll take you to your place of voting, and a preferred pickup time. We're asking people to offer 2 preferred pickup times, so we have some choice. We will then pass all of this information on to Judy's team at Coastal Ride, and they will get back to the people who are requesting rides with a confirmed pickup time ahead of Election Day. So that's why we're ending it on October 30th, so we'll have time to disseminate and pass on the information.
Okay, I want to make sure you got that out there because Judy, in past years, if we got, I don't know, 17% voter turnout, everybody was ecstatic. Do you realize this year they're calling for a whole lot more than that?
Yes, and
realize how many free rides you're handing out?
Well, that's another reason for doing the October 30th cutoff, so that we'll be able to route the trips and be able to work with the seniors on the times so that we can make sure, because we don't want anybody to get out of the car. We want them to be able to ride up. They should have a place to be able to curbside service, and then they'd be able to vote and then go right back home. So that's our goal. That is our goal, is to have everybody have curbside service and stay as potentially safe as possible. I also wanted to throw out that the Agency on the Aging on the Peninsula is also doing free rides with us on the peninsula, and that number for anybody who'd like it is 757-873-0541. So if there's anybody else on the peninsula, we're going to work with the Peninsula Agency on the Aging like we have for years as well to get people to be able to vote.
You keep saying as you've done this for many years. So you've got it down pat as to how to do it.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
So,
do.
Now let me ask you, if I'm one of those undecided voters on the way to the poll, will your drivers give me some advice?
We actually tell them to stay away from those kind of discussions. It can only lead to who knows what in the middle of this year, especially. We just want to have harmony in the car.
I don't know how anybody could be undecided this year, but we won't go there.
I was just going to say that as well. I think by now people have made up their minds.
Now, Judy.
Yes.
I just informed my wife on the way to my first business lunch that I was going to lunch. And she grilled me about, was I going to be safe? What about getting in a cab?
Yes. Well, I've got a few little pictures here that I like things to show. All the drivers have masks. Everybody that gets in and out of the car has to have a mask on. So this is one of the masks that we gave away early on. A lot of so I had some seamstress working her little fingers to the bone making all these masks for us. Then all the drivers have disinfectant. I hope you can see it. It's right there. We had to make our own because you couldn't buy it if you wanted to.
Right.
So we made had a 55-gallon drum and made it.
Okay, wait, put that picture back up. Because your hand was in front of your son.
Oh, there's my son, and there's the disinfectant. And then you always want me to talk about my shower curtain. So here's the shower curtain, Bob. And we tried
my first guest on Primetime with Bob when COVID really first hit us. And I was calling you about, what are you doing? And you were so proud that you were putting shower curtains behind the drivers until someone rolled the window down.
If you open the window, shower curtain did not stay on. So this was a stopgap and it was really helpful. But now, and you can't really see it, Bob, but we have plexiglass now, and it's sort of a shadowy thing over here.
Okay.
If you see the shadow, and you can, at the bottom, it's open so that the driver can, change or the credit card machine or whatever. But it is the sneeze shield between the driver, and it's really hard to see, but it's the best I could do because it's clear. But now we have plexiglass between everyone, and to keep everybody social distanced.
All right. The idea you called it a sneeze bar, though.
Sneeze shield.
Yeah.
That's what I heard there. Everybody calls them. And what do you call them?
Plexiglass behind the driver.
Sorry.
I mean, but people, that's what we're trying to protect people from, or others sneezing. Yeah, it's becoming part of our lives now.
Yes, it is, unfortunately.
But it's really about focusing on safety. But I love the idea that you guys have gotten together, because accessibility for seniors has always been a huge issue, which is why in the case with SEVA, you've really invested over many, many years the iRide program to move people around.
Yeah, we have. And normally we are giving medical rides to seniors and rides to the senior centers like Prime Plus. But we very quickly had to, and I'm going to use this word you brought up before, in March, we very quickly had to pivot how we do things, because seniors, the medical offices were all closed, and there were no elective surgeries, no elective procedures unless they were absolutely life-saving, like dialysis. We continued to do that. But our iRide drivers, along with many, many volunteers, and that volunteer corps grew, we had to pivot so that our iRide vehicles, they're not all vans, iRide vehicles were delivering meals. Our Meals on Wheels delivery count went from about 1,000 meals per week to 3,000 meals a week.
Wow.
And that's because more people identified themselves that needed typical Meals on Wheels, and they're all of the seniors who were going to our senior centers, like Prime Plus closed at that point. They were depending on those hot meals every day. So we actually partnered with Mercy Chefs in order to get those extra meals up and cooked really quickly and to be able to basically triple what we've been providing. And the drivers and a whole slew of volunteers, over 200 volunteers, have been delivering meals since then. And at first we were partnering with the food bank. Mercy Chefs was working out of their parking lot, their loading docks. We were doing the same because we didn't have a space big enough to take all of that on, to load up the vehicles and get out of there. In mid-July, we went to partner with Beth Shalom Village, who has a catering service. Food bank was just overwhelmed with more and more families and individuals, not necessarily seniors, but seniors as well. And they wanted to go back to their regular service delivery, but also tripled or quadrupled. And it was just too much to have us in there. So, and then Mercy Chefs was going on to something else, to another need. So we actually made arrangements with Beth Shalom Village, who has a huge catering business, and they've been catering those meals along with our normal Meals on Wheels provider. And that's how we're getting it done.
Yeah, and I think, Judy, when you and I talked back in April, I think it was, you know, we'll get through this and it'll be over with. And it just continues and continues. So you're using the expertise you've created over the last many years on election day, putting it with your experience in transporting seniors for years to doctor's appointments and looking at what kind of special needs they have. I love it when I see can I call them cab drivers or are they ride drivers now?
That's a good question. I haven't even thought of that one. I would guess I would just call them, you could call them cab drivers, or you could call them ride drivers, or you can call them transportation drivers. You know,
there we go. Because it's Americana to see a senior woman with a walker coming out of a grocery store and the cab driver popping the trunk.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, your drivers take on a special cause when they take on a senior or a military person, right?
Yeah, they certainly do. And, I've been telling them throughout this entire COVID process, you all are the heroes. You all are on the front lines out there taking people in our community to and from work, to and from the grocery store, to and from the hospitals or doctor's appointments, because there are some people, dialysis patients, that still have to go. Yep. And we have to transport and keep them safe as we can. And our whole focus from the beginning has been on people and their safeties, the drivers as well as the passengers. Also, our call center, we immediately started putting more and more people to be able to work from home. I mean, we set up computers, and however they set them up, I wouldn't know. But they set everything up so that they could dial in and work from home. And we still have, most of our call center works from home now, not in the office.
All three of us were impacted by loss of income. I know that both Senior Service Southeast Virginia and Prime Plus has relied on federal grants, state grants, recovery grants. What does a small business have to really kind of get over some of that, the gaps of income?
Well, we applied, thankfully, for the SBA PPP loan, which was a lifesaver. I mean, April last year, or this year, seems like forever ago. April, I mean, we were down to like 65% of normal. I mean, down to 35%. And that was just a lifesaver for us to be able to keep people employed and payroll and the rent and the lights on and maintenance of the vehicles. And so it was a lifesaver for us to be able to have that lifeline from the SBA PPP loan.
Those kinds of things helped, but what's really cool is when I see organizations coming together to help advance what we take for granted, and that's the act to vote. So this is our chance to say, come vote and give a holler to Senior Services at what number, Debbie?
At 757-963-9218.
Okay, and get a ride on Coastal Ride And then after you get done voting, come on home and then call back in and go to the grocery store with Coastal Rock, right?